It's Mooncell, what's up? The patterns. If there's no pattern, is it automatically deemed chaotic? Is it automatically deemed chaos? I would say in a sense. However, I feel like people tend to look at chaos like it's a bad thing. I think whoever manages chaos, it depends on who's managing the chaos. But patterns, I might bring up patterns because with sickle cell, there's some sort of pattern I think we all go through. It's not the same, of course, right? Because we are literally, some of us are in the hospital, we're out of the hospital, like it's just different. But I do think that knowing some type of pattern recognition on what happens to us is important. I know that there's many different channels nowadays, or platforms or apps that can help one track their pulse or track their what is it called, PVC, like our blood level count, things like that. However, like for me, there's a mental part. The times where, the thing about it, people with sickle cell, it's not like we can't go through anxiety attacks or panic attacks or be angry or just feel a very like heavy set of emotions. However, it's hard to talk about because doctors don't necessarily like give you a chance to talk about the mental part. And even when you do want to talk about the mental part, it's just more of like the studying or the testing of the blood rather than like how we mentally feel, like how are we psychologically. And I won't say like all doctors are like that or whatever. It's just I never got asked like, okay, you're going through this crisis. How's your mind though? Like I never got that. Can I go over there? No, I can't. Let's go to another set of trees. So it's not even like woe is me. It's more of like, like people with sickle cell, like, do you get a chance from your doctors or your health practitioners? Do they ask you how your mental is? Hey, from Nova Scotia, Jack Nickerson. What's up? I didn't even see you there. Yeah, because the mental capacity while dealing with the sickle cell crisis, it's a lot of mentalism, actually. It's a lot of patience for yourself and others. And it seems like you can't be in pain and angry. That's dangerous. And indigenous or Afro or Caribbean or Native, you can't be in pain, angry, and black. So we even in the hospitals, in these institutions, it's almost like we got to conform, or we've got to code switch, or we got to tone it down. So I was tired of toning it down, actually. So instead, I shared my mind with the paramedic when I had a sickle cell crisis recently. I decided to share the fact that I was in pain, crying, and that I was having a mental breakdown. And it wasn't like I was testing the waters or anything. I was just like, fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna speak my mind while I'm dealing with this pain. Because it's almost like a distraction from just sitting there in pain. So I was like just sharing how I feel. And sharing how I felt, it was a great release, like just to like express myself like I be doing. However, going into the hospital, going into Emerge, they didn't focus on the mental part, because I already said I have sickle cell, and with sickle cell there's barely any time for the mental part. Is it rare to have a mental breakdown and a sickle cell crisis? Has it ever been done before? So yeah, just a thought in regards to like giving yourself some ease. I gave myself ease by speaking my mind while having a sickle cell crisis, rather than just crying. I cried and I shared my mind and I told them, this is how I feel. This is what I'm thinking. This is what's been going on with me. And I didn't care if anyone was listening, because the pain that people with sickle cell feel is it's unmatched. And your mind gotta be like very much so in tune and focused if you're not expressing it outwardly. You have to go into a certain zone. Even if you're crying hysterically, there's a certain zone that we get into, whether we realize it or not. And the body helps with that, because the body naturally doesn't want us to be in pain, so it will release certain hormones for us to not go overboard. So it makes you think like, shit, like when people are in pain, like our bodies really are helping ourselves, because it could be much worse. It could be worse. So I realized, yeah, being in pain means I'm sharing with these healthcare professionals, I feel this way and I'm thinking this way, because we barely get that space to feel or think, because we feel so much. So I mean, when I'm talking about feelings, I'm talking about emotions and thoughts. We know how it feels. We know how it physically feels to be in pain as we do. No one talks about mental pain or emotional pain when it comes to also dealing with sickle cell pain. It's like it gets separated, and we don't realize that being aware of our mental strife or our mental agony or our emotional agony, becoming aware of it can actually help the physical because it all connects anyways. The metaphysical and the physical connect anyways. Yeah. Anywho, I'm gonna go talk to the trees. Peace. Always balance darkness and chaos when it arises.